My name is Bud Smythe. I was a bodyguard to General MacArthur, and I've written a book which is in the library system, uh, telling kind of my life story up until the time I got out of the Army. I had been there about a week, and we had guards posted at all the entrances to the building, and people had to show an ID to get in the building. It was a photo ID with a. Anyway, this woman come in and walked right by the guard, didn't show him anything. And I stopped her. And I said, pardon me. I says, I noticed you didn't show your ID card. I'd like to check that. And she says, yes, Sergeant, I'll do that. And she started fishing in her purse. And the guard that she had walked right by was waving at me and pointing to his shoulders. Turns out she was General MacArthur's wife. And I says, I'm sorry, I just realized who you were. And she said, no, I'm going to find the card. She couldn't find it because she never had to show it. She finally produced it, and I apologized. And she said, no, I want to thank you for protecting my husband, because in actual fact, I did actually stop her because she didn't show her ID. But she and I became really good friends. Every time she came to MacArthur's office, I was stationed in his office building. And every time she came to the office, we'd talk, and she was really good to me, nice to me all the time. He was 100% military. I saw him every other day for 2 years. I worked a day on and a day off. And every other day, I'd salute him in the morning and say, good morning, General. And he may or may not have verbally responded. He'd return the salute, and his eyes would check me from my boots to my collar to make sure I was in uniform. And that was it. He was purely military. He didn't associate with the enlisted men. However, he did sign a lot of pictures of he and I together, and he had a movie every night in his house. That was his relaxation. And we were allowed to go to his house to watch the movies. And he would come in the room. It would be all set up. He had a rocking chair in the front row. Beside him was his wife, maybe his boy, and some colonels. And the front row was kind of reserved for the brass. And we could sit in rows in the back. But he'd walk in, bob his head, acknowledging whoever was there. The minute he sat in that rocking chair, the lights were out and the movie started. And we were all standing up, of course, we had to grope for our chairs. But he would sit and watch a movie, smoke a cigar, fall asleep, And but I attended a lot of movies with him in his house. So. But I remember each time the crowd would start to gather, we had barriers along the sidewalk, and there'd be crowds of Japanese people just waiting to see him. But there were 2 Japanese police standing in front of each one of the pillars. And when I followed him out, or when I was waiting for him, when he came to the office, there were 2 Japanese police. And there were attempts on his life 2 different times. While they were waiting for him, all of a sudden, one of the policemen ran into the crowd, grabbed a guy, and the other policeman went over and they dragged him around behind the corner. The guy had a pistol, and I would have never seen it. I would have probably seen it after the fact. But the fact is, they were watching for facial expressions, and they caught that guy before MacArthur arrived. Another time, a guy had a samurai sword. Same incident. I'm waiting for him, and all of a sudden, they run into the crowd, grab this guy, and drag him. And I'm talking to the police later, I find out that in both instances, the guy was going to assassinate MacArthur. Another incident I had, I was waiting for MacArthur to leave his office. I would wait at the foot of the elevator. The elevator door would open, MacArthur would walk out, I'd follow him out as I said, he'd get in his car. And when MacArthur would be leaving the building, would prop the doors open. I'd get a signal from his secretary, he's on the way, and doors would open, they'd be propped open, guards out on the sidewalk, everything preparing for him to leave the building or come into the building. In this case, he was leaving the building, and the elevator's on the way down, and a one-star general had pulled up in his car, and one of our guards opened the door for him, and he thought all this pomp was for him. He come walking in, and he's walking through all these doors propped open with guys saluting, and I told him, General, stand right over there. The elevator is coming down, and MacArthur's on the elevator. I said to myself, instinctively, I didn't think this out, but I said, if you were going to assassinate MacArthur, how would you do it? You'd pretend you were a one-star general, and a general is pretty high up in the army. Privates, corporals, they're afraid of generals, colonels. You'd walk in, and when MacArthur got off the elevator, you'd shoot him and take your chances on getting away. Okay? I said, General, stand right over there. He looked at me like, who is this sergeant telling me what to do? And he kept walking. Took the 45 out, put around. I said, stand over. And he jumped over there and went gray. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. The door, by that time, opened up. I was just putting my gun away, my pistol in the holster, and watching this guy. MacArthur got off the elevator, saw me out of uniform. The flap was open, and saw this general standing there trembling, knew what happened. He smiled and walked out, and I went through my routine. I said, that's it. I'm going to be court-martialed. You know, anyway, I was waiting for the axe to fall. Nothing ever happened. Either it was a test, or this guy just walked into a bad situation. But if I had shot him, I'd have been in prison the rest of my life. If I didn't shoot him and he shot MacArthur, I'd have been in prison the rest of my life. It was a no-win situation for a, 18, 19-year-old? That's terrible. But anyway, I was never called up for that, which I thought was kind of funny. But later I kind of decided maybe it was a test. If it was, it went off all right.